I'm only going to play a minute and a half of this, but I feel it's necessary to set the stage of what we're heading into.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable.
This is why he won. Literally, I can't divorce this from my mind. How did he win so much of the black vote? How did half of Latinos vote for Trump? As if the Latinos voted almost as much for Trump as white people did. And it's like, how? How is that possible? And the answer is this. The tranny shit is just so viscerally disgusting at a baser instinct level to everybody on the entire fucking planet, except to people who have been exposed to indoctrination their entire life. That's the only reason. And what's funny is that if you read the comments for this, I'm not even a Trumper, but this is enough alone to make me want to vote for him. In this lunacy now, can you believe we are in a time in history where someone actually has to fight against this type of craziness? Absolutely supporting this. Finally, some common sense. The fact we have to have this conversation in the first place is insane. He's won my vote from Muhammad. This guy's name is Muhammad Waqs Ali. And he says, he's won my vote. Muhammad looked at this video and said, yeah, that's my man. Over fucking Kamala Harris. That's where we're at. And it's so incredibly base. And I saw a comment that was from a tranny on Blue Sky, and he was lamenting, saying, I can't believe that Trump won because millions of people don't think that I should exist. And I thought about that for a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually true, because you're really fucking gross, and nobody wants a child to end up like you. You're disgusting. That's actually right. I'm glad that you've come to that realization. Hopefully you'll adjust your fucking behavior, respectively. People like Liz Fong Jones and Luke Bathwater, they're all the reasons. This is why Trump is in for a second term, because you're so fucking nasty. This is an article from The Times by Camilla Long saying, Trump wasn't the candidate who made women feel bullied and repulsed. Why did the Democrats think women would not care about immigration or the economy? And her position is very simply about how abortion was not the saving grace that the Democrats thought it would be. It was very obvious throughout the Kamala Harris, like just seeing her campaigns it was entirely about how he's taking away your rights, about your right to bodily autonomy, abortion rights, and it didn't matter. People still didn't vote for her because immigrants being violent rapists, the cartel trafficking children and drugs across the border, that was completely wide open, and the trannies coming after their kids, that was all much more important. I'm actually going to skip ahead to this. This was in California. This has been a famous case for a while. His name is Jeff Younger, and he says, my trial in California has finished. The judge may not like me for posting photos of my sons, but so many of you have prayed and supported my sons. You have a right to see who these young men are. Thank you. So basically, this guy is in the California court system, and those are his kids, and his wife has been working on transitioning them to daughters. And because he does not support gender transitions, the family, the Department of Health and Human Services, or whatever the fuck you call it in California, decided that he was unfit to have any access to his kids because he would not affirm their gender. So he's been in the California justice system for God knows how fucking long, fighting to get them back. And this is exactly the kind of shit that normal people throughout the country are terrified of. Because what a horrible fucking thing to lose your relationship and have your spouse turn into a nasty, vindictive person who's going to tune out your kids as some sort of petty fucking revenge. A lot of people are afraid of that. They're afraid of their schools secretly trying to tune out your kids. Afraid of CPS abducting your children because you don't confirm their fucking hallucinations. That kind of shit. That's why they lost. What the fuck are you gonna do with a bunch of French people, dude? You fucking crackhead. Do you want Mama JF's corpse that bad? Come on now. It's nonsense. Alright. Kind of also in the news, this is La Leche, I think was the name of it. Yeah, the La Leche League, which was, I believe, a British breastfeeding charity. And their goal was to get excess breast milk to infants for mothers who could not produce their own breast milk. So they just kind of coordinated the supply and demand of a charitable material. And of course, trannies get involved and they start getting breast milk, to which one of the founders of the charity have stepped down. So trannies just get whatever the fuck they want. And breast milk is extremely important. Breast milk has a lot of stuff that formula can't. And it's very, very important that a baby gets breast milk if it's at all available. So even if it's from another mother, even from a wet nurse or whatever the fuck, it's still better than formula. So trannies damaging something that is so quintessentially important to newborn babies is just disgusting. There's honestly, and I'm trying to be charitable when I say this, because I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, what do we get from tolerating trannies? You can't fucking reproduce. You make everything more complicated and shitty. You're all fucking rapists and pedophiles. Almost all of them are some kind of weird sex pest because it's a sexual disorder, and it's directly linked to sexual sicknesses. And it's like, what do we as a society, what do we get from tolerating your continued existence? Because I can't think of anything. I think that we can even replace all the program. Like, if you take all the trannies that are, like, in programming, like, oh, they're, like, super autistic and they develop code, just replace them with Chinamen. You know how many Chinaman developers there are? There's, like, a lot. Get rid of all the fucking trannies and replace them with Chinamen. You know how much better that our society would be? A lot. Can anyone... ACT means inclusion. I don't think we get anything. I think we're getting fucking ripped off. It's the worst deal of any deal perhaps ever. We give you genital mutilation surgeries. We give you pronouns in bio. We give you all sort of concede. You let you fuck up the fucking gay flag. We just give them all that they want all the fucking time. They take and take and take in the name of, like, human rights and dignity that nobody fucking needed until 10 years ago. And we get literally nothing. There's not a single one of them that is worth it. That is worth all the fucking drama. Like, you would need a tranny that's like a combination of, like, Albert Einstein and that Jewish guy that invented fertilizer. Who's that German Jew who invented fertilizer? Fritz Haber. Fritz Haber invented the Haber-Bosch process, which has effectively allowed millions of people who could not ordinarily live to live on our planet. Many of them Africans, but that's a different topic for a different day. Born in the Kingdom of Prussia, now Roslav, Poland. We need like a Albert Einstein Fritz Haber tier genius tranny to even come close to 1% of fucking worth it. You know? But we're never going to get that because they're all gooning to like fucking Honkai Star Rail or whatever. What's the big one? Genshin Impact. I think Honkai Star Rail is less popular. Anyway. Oh no, oh my god, a fucking anime. Heard their favorite gacha game mentioned and now they're all excited.